Mnampigia makofi, si ndio? Mr. Are we ready for Mr. Rodney Maina? Bado hajapenda sana. Kuna venye jana alitokea na nilikuwa na expect atoke hivyo. A better round of applause for Mr. Rodney Maina. Yeah. Ako soko anauza AI tools. Kama kuna kitu kingine pia yeye imempeleka hapo soko, wacha atuambie.
So anyway guys. Hello, good morning. How you guys doing? When I say how you feeling, you say excellent if you're okay. How you feeling? All right, I'm also very much excellent. Me naitwa Maina, as you heard. My name is Rodney Maina, and what I do is that I teach people how to use AI for different things. So we're talking about AI adoption specialist, eh? So you know how people normally say AI is going to take people's jobs, eh? But also it's going to create others. So this is one of them that has been coming up. Watu wengi sana wamekuwa wakitumia AI for different things, but don't really understand what AI is or how it can work for them. So I hope this morning has been good to you. I mean, nimeamka nikisweat. Nimejaribu kuoga. I think it's because I'd gone to the gym. I just kept on sweating. Inanimaliza tu. So I'm glad to be here. Leo nilikuwa nimeitwa na the Kenyatta Trust to talk about AI in education. I do understand that you guys, most of you are in first year and second year. True or false? True, yeah. How many first years are in the building? All right. Okay, sasa imekuwa second. Anyway, how many second years? All right. Interesting. So which universities are here majorly? People from UN, shule kubwa, the University of Nairobi, dimi nilikuwa UN. People from Moi University. All right. People from JKUAT. All right. KU. All right. KU got a good number. Maseno University. Masinde Muliro University. Garissa University. Which one is that? Pwani University. Kuna mingi Kemu. Who's in a private university? Like there's so many universities, eh? Anyone from Masai Mara or Muranga University? Because I used to be hapo kando yao. So yeah. So I was also a student at the University of Nairobi, and I graduated last year in August. And I had, fun fact, I had a first class honors when I was graduating, but I'm not the smartest. I just got an ADQ at KCC. But the reason why I got a good grade is because of AI. You know, so I got to be AI kusoma, and that's why I got into AI in education. So when you do campus, unaambiwa in your final year that you need to do a school project. You get? So when I was doing my school project, I had to figure out what to do. I was doing a course called Bachelor's of Journalism and Communication. Bachelor's of Arts in Journalism and Mass Communication. But I never really wanted to be a journalist. When I went to university, I wanted to be a student leader. Do you want to read for anything? So mi nilikuwa naenda kufanya leadership and stuff. So even the course that I picked was a course that I could do easily. Because I used to do public speaking when I was in high school, and I've always been someone who wanapenda kuongea. So I used to be like, I want to be on TV. And I say, go YouTube. Mkiingia YouTube mtaniona, eh? So when I was doing journalism, I had to figure out a project to do. And my project became, I wanted to understand what students at the University of Nairobi perceive AI as. So like, what are the use cases of AI in academia? So when I was doing the research project, one thing if you listen to a lot of entrepreneurs or people who started businesses, utasikia a lot of businesses started from a school project. So ukiangalia on my shoes I have Nike. Nike was a school project that the guy was doing, and he was basically looking into how the Japanese had imported music tapes into America. So basically his next bet was that they were gonna import running shoes. So when he finished university, he was just like, you know what? How about I take my school project seriously? So that's what I also did. I did my research in how students perceive AI. And when I did the research, I was like, you know what, let me take this seriously. Because now people started calling me, can you come and show us how to use AI? And since then, all of a sudden, people started saying, nikufunze. I was like, what? People are being paid to teach AI. And since then, I've just been doing this. So far, I've taught over roughly, last year I taught already 600. So this year, I think nimepitisha 900 students. And if I was to add, I don't know how many, the two of you, it's like another two so imeongezeka, unaona. So basically, I've taught a lot of people. I normally focus on students, that is people who are in high school and people who are in university. I show them how to use AI for education, and that's why I'm here. Sasa. So if I say cool, you say like a pool. Cool? Cool? I know Mombasa is hot, not cool, but it's how. So I just want to start by laying the ground, eh? How many of you guys have ever used AI before? By a show of hands. All right. Wow, you guys mna respond. Jana watu wako na respond kule. So that's very interesting. Which AI tools maybe have you guys used? You can shout or something, say something. Okay, you're raising your hand. Grok. Okay, anything else? Claude. Nini ingine? D0. I don't know what that is, B0. DeepSeek, Gemini, Copilot, Google AI. Yeah. So there's so many different AI tools, and the whole idea for today is for me to introduce you to these AI tools. So I have two presentations, but now I think now that you guys understand some parts of AI, I'm gonna use this other presentation instead of what I prepared in the morning. So let's start with talking about what AI is. Now, can anyone guess what artificial intelligence actually is? Anyone? Just raise your hand, alafu you try it out. What is artificial intelligence? Anyone? Guesswork? Yeah, just is there a mic for him? Is there a microphone for him?
Hi guys, I'm Michael Kagonda. What I think about AI is the combination of many books, research, all put together.
Okay, so he's kind of gotten it correctly, but what you were describing is a type of AI model. So AI is simply the simulation of human ability in machines. So the same things that humans can do, what has happened is that a machine has been made to do that thing. Unaona? So ideally it's a machine imefunzwa kile human beings can do. So if human beings could dance, AI can dance. If human beings can write, AI can write. If human beings can think, interpret language, and do all those things, now AI can do the same thing. Unaona? So people normally talk about AI being a competitor. Umesikia watu wengi sana wakisema, even yesterday I was telling the group too that AI is going to disrupt a lot of jobs. Around 28% of the workforce apparently will be replaced by AI. 28% is a very large number. So people normally think of AI as you against AI. However, I like bringing the question of how much more can you do with AI if you were to partner with it. So I call it you to the power of AI. Unajua vile mlikuwa nafanya 2 squared 2 ama 365, square 365. Yeah, so how much more can you do with the power of AI? And yesterday again with group 2, what I was trying to tell them is about how much more one person can do now that AI is there. Nona. And I brought them this bet that has been made by a lot of tech CEO companies in America. And they're saying, they bet when will the first $1 billion company built by one person ever happen? Nona. Because most companies normally need so many staff. But now the argument is, okay, when will be the first, $1 billion company basically has it's called a unicorn, a very huge valuation. So think about akina Meta na nini. Okay, zilipita $1 billion kitambo, but think about that. So how much more can one person do with AI? And I was basically giving them examples of like people who I know who are young, they're young entrepreneurs or even just even employed, and they're able to do so much more. Yeah, there's an AI tool called Gamma. Gamma has around 50 million, has around 100 million users on its platform. It makes presentations, and they only have 50 employees. So it means one employee serves 2 million people. Can you imagine? Hebu niambie ni which other system you've ever had something like that. But the reason why they're able to do that is because of artificial intelligence. So AI has brought this capability of, if you were to use it, your power is unmatched. No, no. I don't know if you guys jungle like to your small girl, big God, and stuff like that. Like if God is on your side, there's so much more you can do. So also now with AI on your side, there's so much that you can do. So instead of you seeing AI as a competitor, you start seeing it as a collaborator. Unafaa kujiuliza, how much more can I do? How much more can I do for you to get the same thing? So as I said, AI is a simulation of human ability in machines. So why is it important for us to learn AI? So there are around 7 or 8 billion people in this world. Yeah. Out of the 7 billion people, there are around 1.3 billion people who've used AI before. So around 6.8 billion have never used AI before, any AI model. Literally yesterday, okay, when I was in the other team, I didn't know a good number of people had never used AI. Even hapa nimeona kuna watu hawakuinua mkono. When asked if anyone has ever used AI, I generally thought everybody has, especially anybody who's young. But turns out, kuna watu wengi sana Hajawai. Hadi ChatGPT, hadi Gemini, hadi Copilot, hadi hiyo Meta ambayo iko kwa Facebook yako na WhatsApp yako kuna mtu hajaitumia. Unaona? So there are around 6.8 billion people who've never used it and around 1.3 billion people who've used it and do several things with it. Unaona? So what this means is that if you're able to just learn AI, you get into the 1% of people who've used AI before, just by using it. Unaona? And as you can see, the levels keep on dwindling as you continue. So these people have never used AI or wametumia AI but on the free version, then these people have actually paid for it. So that means they probably get more value out of AI. And in 2025 and also 2026, ChatGPT surpassed around 1 billion users total. I think say wamefika 1.1. That's the fastest grade ever company. And they also have around 600 million people who use ChatGPT on a weekly basis. Sasa, I know Najuliza why is that important? But it's because if everybody is using it, you need to figure out a way to be ahead of everyone else. Again, in 2025, a lot of tech companies reported, not just tech companies, but S&P 500 are the biggest companies in America and so in the world. They reported to be using AI in their workflows. So what that means is that ikiwa wewe, you are looking for a job, but you've not learned how to use AI, unajipata unatafuta jobo, lakini hakuna kazi for you because AI can do it, ama they keep on depending on AI. In fact, there's something that has started coming up in job descriptions whereby they put AI adoption or AI literacy in the job requirements. Unaona? So you find yourself, if you've not learned how to use AI, utajipata pabaya when you're looking for a job and you cannot use artificial intelligence. So there's a huge opportunity. Not many people understand it, and that means ukijua, you're literally in the top, maybe even 1% of population. So of course, AI can be used for a lot of things. Maybe we could talk about that. What have you guys used AI for? Yeah, maybe I could ask at random. There's a guy over there. Yeah, making notes. Yeah, okay. Anybody else on this side? That lady. What have you used? Have you ever used AI? You, the one who's looking on that side. Straight to me. Yeah, what did you use it for? School. Like, what did you do at school for it? Learning. All right. Have you ever used AI? What did you use it for? Creating a poster. So AI can be used for a lot of different things. Yeah. And these are just some of the ways that I myself use AI for. I use it to write, to learn a language. I was learning Chinese with AI. I've used it to cook. Nachukuanga picha ya fridge. What can I cook? Biashara and so much more. Unaona? So AI has a lot of different uses. And the AI that I would like us to talk about is something called large language models. So that has the likes of ChatGPT, Gemini, and the things that you guys have talked about. So you might ask yourself, like, what makes ChatGPT so special? Because I think almost everybody here are on a ChatGPT subscription. So ChatGPT was the first AI model that came out in 2022 that was something called generative. Can somebody guess what generative AI means? Is anybody here who's doing software development or computer science? Anyone? All right, who can guess what generative AI means? Who can guess? Huh? Anybody? What is Gen AI? All right, if there's no guesses, generative AI is basically AI that comes up with new things. Unaona? So AI existed before. And I don't know if you guys can tell where AI existed, but think about things like Safaricom. Ukipigia mtu, alafu wajashika na inakwambianga, press 1 to do, press 2 to do, press 3 to do. So that is AI. But that's a different type of AI, a descriptive AI. So what it does, that kind of AI, is that it has specific instructions. Like, mtu akifanya hii, fanya hii. Mtu akifanya hii, fanya hii. So that's what Safaricom had trained their models, even though it was not really models, to do. So now what ChatGPT brought was, it's not descriptive anymore. It is now generative. So what that means is that it can come up with something new. Ukienda ChatGPT sahizi uiambie hello, good morning. What will it do? It will tell you good morning. But if you go and tell hiyo kitu ya Safaricom good morning, itakwambia hey boss, mi sikuelewi. You get, like, finya, press 1 to do this, press 2 to do this. So that's the difference between the new AI, or rather, that's the difference now between ChatGPT and other AI models. So ChatGPT brought the aspect of something called generation. It can come up with something new. And as you can imagine, that's what human beings were being employed to do. Yeah, mkumbuka mkiandika letters in high school. Yeah, in your whatever courses that you're doing. Baby, what course are you doing in uni? Automotive engineering. Okay, I don't know what that means. But anything that you're doing at work, you have to generate something. Yeah, if you're making posters as a graphic designer, you have to generate a poster. If you're a musician, you have to generate music. You have to come up with music. So imagine now, instead of human beings have to generate these things, AI can do it. Unaona? So the difference between chat and what had happened before was that ChatGPT was generative. So it has come up with something new. Yeah. And of course, now since ChatGPT came out, what happened is that there's been an explosion of different models that do a lot of different things. So for example, on this page, you can see, maybe let me mention some of them. The ones for text, for example, are DeepSeek, Claude, Gemini, Grok, Perplexity, ChatGPT, and Quenchart. And then there are more that can do more things, such as Lovable can make for you applications, Replit can also make applications, Arcads can make for you advertisements, Higgsfield can make for you videos. I'm sure you've seen those videos as a TikTok. Yeah, Manas is an agent that can do a lot of tasks for you. Meta is okay, it's just like these other things. Chapter responds on messages. This one can also build for you apps. Unaona? So there are different models that can now do more things. So when ChatGPT came out and it could release text, now what they were like doing is like, okay, can this thing also make posters? Can this thing also make a bottle or 3D print something? Unaona? So all of a sudden now you started seeing so many more models coming up. And so you might ask yourself, like, how do these large language models generate new things? So the way these models normally work, or large language models normally work, is that they are a machine that has been fed on a lot of data. Hey, I am so thirsty. Hey, today is extra hot for me. I don't know why. Hey, so also you guys hydrate. Nishaanguka huku Mombasa. So mkunywe maji mingi sana, msi feel your dizziness. So the way these models normally work is that it is a machine that has been trained on a lot of data. So think about it as a bottle. I like bringing it a bottle. This is ChatGPT. Okay. So it has been fed with data. The data is the water or the liquid inside. So that's what happens with the models. They have been given a lot of data. I want you to think about AI as human beings, as how you guys go to classrooms. Yeah? So hizi ninawafunza kitu. What I'm doing is that I'm inputting data in your minds. Sindio? So what happens with machines is that they have wanafanyiwa the same simulations as humans. They have been given a lot of data. So much data that it can literally everything that has been existing in the internet from when the internet started in the 1990s, until now it has been fed. So what happens is that it learns from that data. It ends up kuona patterns in that data. So think about how when you learn a new language, that's exactly what happens. Yeah? Unaingizwa pahali inaanza kufunza Chinese. Anybody who knows any other language? Any interest in language you guys know? Si mnajua your mother tongue, you know. Yeah? Which language? German. Maybe you could tell us how did you learn German?
I've said I was learning that Jamaican accent through Copilot. Others, I was improving on my French language through Copilot sale. So then I know a bit. Yeah.
So my question is, how does someone learn a language?
Just through Copilot, start with basic things that you want to know, at least to make a sentence, something like that. It will help you and it will guide you every single steps. Alafu, how to know better. It will give you more platforms that you can use to know. It can give you people. It can tell you watch such videos or movies to improve on your language. Yeah.
So ideally, the way people learn languages is through something called immersion. So if let's say you want to learn Chinese, the best way to learn Chinese is be taken to China. Like ingia hapo utangangana na watu, unaona? So the reason why is because each time you hear someone say, for example, water. Okay, I used to learn Chinese. What is water? Okay, but I know drinking when someone is thirsty, they say ha cha. So someone will be like, okay, ha cha. Each time someone wants to drink water, they'll be like ha cha. You get? So all of a sudden your brain starts forming a pattern. Inaanza kurecognize margina those words. You get? So that's how languages are spoken. In fact, there's this chemist of mine, this week nilikuwa mgonjwa when I was at the beginning of the week, and they were speaking Jaluo over there. So that guy was just like, "Sina kufunza Kijaluo." So akaanza repeat like the words he was saying on the phone ili niweze kuelewa. So ako like, hii word inamaanisha hii, hii word inamaanisha hii. So eventually I started like shikanisharing some two sentences. Okay, not a full Jaluo sentence, but like nianza kushikanisha some words here. But the thing is, the same way unasikianga some words unaanza kuform patterns in your head is the same way AI works. So imepewa training data, okay? So inaanza kutell from that data. So for example, if let's say it's for writing emails, I'm writing reports, it has been fed thousands or millions of reports and millions of letters. So it starts understanding how a letter should be written. So anytime you come and ask it a question, it already knows it from the database because it was a predictive model. So large language models or AI models do not understand anything. So each time you go to ChatGPT, there's no difference between ChatGPT and this wall. Haielewangi kitu yoyote. Sawa. So what ChatGPT is something called a predictive model. Sawa. And what that means is it is always trying to predict the next word. So kama hapa nimeandika, it is a highly complex next word prediction engine. Think about it this way. When you're speaking of kirangi kile unaenda kusema, si ndio? Right now as I'm speaking, I'm not thinking about the next word that is coming out. It is just coming out. But now, it's so awkward for me to say that, si ndio? Because imagine nikiwaambia ati kwamba sifikiri kile nasema, it sounds a bit awkward. But the thing is, I've done this so many times that it is a pattern in my head that my brain knows what I'm going to say next. Can you imagine if each time you have to say a word, you have to think about the word? So nasema, first word, minor. Okay, you get like, itakuwa very awkward to speak that way. So what happens is that also the machine works the same way. Inakuanga next word prediction engine. This means that it doesn't really know what it's doing. So now another question for you guys. What do you think is the problem of having a machine that responds to you but does not actually think what it's saying? What is the issue with having a machine that responds to you without thinking about what it's saying?
The machine might generate more information than what you actually need, like outside the box.
Yes. So it might come up with wrong information. Sindio? So that's why, I don't know if you guys mshaitumia ChatGPT ama Claude, alafu inakupea kitu ambayo huko unataka. Unaona? Because the AI does not actually know what it's doing. It's just trying to predict the next word. So each time you go and tell it something, alafu inakupea jibu, wajua that was what was its training. So kama hapa vile nimeiambia good morning, ikaniambia good morning, Maina, how are you feeling today? You're going to notice that this is a pattern. And this pattern was what it was told to be responding each time someone says, good morning. You get? Like this is how it's supposed to be written. And if you guys were to ask ChatGPT also the same thing, good morning, itakujibu hivi. You get? And okay, maybe it's because I used a higher one, but ideally it should answer you the same exact way. So every prompt should kind of be responded the same exact way. So the way it works is that it does not really think. So that means that it's dangerous for you to use AI for a lot of things that are critical. So nilikuwa nimeambia niongelele AI in education, and that's why now I was talking about that thing for. It is more of like a predictive model than anything else. So if it doesn't understand what it's supposed to be saying, ama haielewi what is happening, it means that you cannot use it for things like education sana. Sindio? Because it's gonna make mistakes. So let's look at the limitations of the human, or rather large language models. So remember I told you that AI works the same way as the brain. Sindio? So I would like you guys to tell me like what are some of the limitations that your human mind has? Yeah? So tell me limitations of your mind.
Okay, good morning. Okay, I'm Mike, KT 552. The limitation of human mind. Okay, I can say it's like you are working on something, then yeah, So I'm trying to think of something, but it's taking time. So it's all about time.
The same, taking time. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Caleb Kipngetich, KT 519. So the limitation is taking time loading sometimes.
So another one, give us another limitations of the human brain.
My name is Gishuke Peris, KT564. Another limitation is that your brain gets tired.
So the human brain gets tired. Give us another limitation of the human brain.
Good morning. Abdorin, KT462, Laikipia University. Limitations of a human brain, I guess it's processing an answer to a question that you haven't heard them before.
So you're trying to think about coming up with information. Unajaribu kujibu swali lakini hujai jibu hiyo swali ama hujai funzwa. Unaona? So another one, another limitation of the human brain.
Lushan, KT558, let's say it's prone to error. Error.
So the human brain can make a lot of errors. I'm sure you guys, mshaifanya exam, unaingia, you are so sure that you've gotten the answer, but after the exam room, all of a sudden, unaambia kwamba you got things wrongly. Sindio? So the same limitations that the human brain has, an AI model also has. So the first thing that you guys said is, you're prone to error. So it makes something called hallucinations. So hallucinations is whereby when you go to use an AI model, it gives you a different response from what you'd asked it. So umeuliza, let's say automotive engineering. Okay, that's a very, I don't know what exactly you guys will be taught, but I can imagine it's engineer of automotive. Sindio, things that move. But sasa here, listen examples. What course do you do? IT. All right. So, for example, you are asking it to explain to you how networks in a system are connected. So now instead of it telling you networks are computer, inakupea networks are the brain. You get? So you're asking it a question about IT, and then it's just giving you answers about connections of the human brain. Unaona? So that's how hallucinations come in. Hallucinations, ulikuwa unauliza swali moja, inakupea jibu lingine. Unaona? So that's the first limitation of an AI model. Another thing is biasness and fairness issues. So what does this mean? Remember I told you that it has been trained by different data. Sindio? It has been trained by a lot of data. So imagine if the data that was being put there was biased. Like it's, for example, this time, I was telling Gemini to give me a photo of a Kenyan. And then all the photos of Kenyans, it kept on giving me people in Masai shukas. So I had to tell it that, hey, not everybody in Kenya wears Masai shukas. But to it has been biased to know that everything that is in Kenya, ni watu ambao wanavaa, like, everybody's in the savannah, and everybody wears Masai shukas. Unaona? And everybody wears beads. So even today, if you have to go and ask ChatGPT or Gemini, make me an image of a Kenyan, in fact, let's do it together, utapata, whether you guys do this on your phones or on your laptops, go to chat yambie, give me an image of a Kenyan. We see what it will give us. Of someone from your community if you want to make it even more interesting. So it's going to take like a minute for it to come. But one thing that Gemini used to do is that it used to give me people in the Masai shukas, ama watu ambao wamevaa beads, maleso and very colorful clothing. So I want you guys to see that. I want you guys to see that biasness happening in real life. But you go and tell it to make a photo of like an African, and then it makes photos of people in the slum or something. You get? So there's this biasness that happens in these things. Unapata watu wamepelekwa, like the photos that you tell it to do, ama the information you tell it to do is always biased to a specific region or to a specific thing. Sindio? You guys are, anybody ambaye photo imeshatengenezwa? Atuonyeshe what image they've made? Yeah? So kuna kuanga na biasness. So this biasness is normally very prevalent and it's a big issue. Another issue again in the Kwanga, fairness issues. Again, remember this data has been made by certain companies. Those companies are controlled by certain people. Who knows anyone who's made an AI company? These tech CEOs. Kuna mmoja who's the richest man in the world? Elon Musk. Which AI model has he run? Grok, perfect. Sindio? So you always gonna notice that your Grok inakwanga very biased to certain things. Sindio? If you are to ask it certain questions, it will not respond. So okay, hii haijadipea mtu ako na Masai Shuka. But at least hapo improve. But you can see it still brought these beads because for some reason they always think that Kenyans are colorful. Like Kenyans wanavanga the bracelet kila pahali. What anybody who's got something different? Abush, I wish you could show us. But what have you gotten? Maybe you can explain it.
It's a lady in a Masai Shuka.
Shuka, unaona imekuja huyu Masai Shuka, unaona, like the biasness continues. What have you gotten? Still loading. Okay, anybody who's gotten something different in the savannah?
Yeah, elephants.
You told it to make elephants?
No, a photo of Kenya.
A photo of Kenya, yeah. But you see, again, if you tell it to make a photo of Kenya, it will always think that we have elephants and lions around us. No. But we don't have lions everywhere. So this is now an example of the biasness. So at times you go and use ChatGPT to do something, and then it gives you the same things. Eh? So ni watu wangapi wamepata Masai Shuka? Naona? That's a majority. Who's gotten something unique? Mtu ambaye amevaa jeans. Anybody who amepata youngin with jeans? Wesi ukiangalia hapa watu wengi wamevaa jeans. Naona? So there's biasness. They assume that everybody stays in a Masai Shuka or everybody does something in a specific way. Sasa. So and then also I was talking about biasness and fairness issues. So inakuanga na hizo mashida za human rights, like you can't answer some things. If you have to ask a Chinese model something negative about China, it can't answer. You have to ask a French model something negative about French, it can't answer. Unaona? So it may make sure that it can't respond something negative about their country. So that's what I mean by fairness issues. And then again, nishawaambia kwamba it does not really understand. Unaona? Ushaingia kwa exam room ama mnafunzwa kwa class, kila kitu inakupita hivi. Back to back. So that's what normally happens again with AI. Nishawaambia kwamba it's a predictive model, right? And the fact that it's a predictive model means it's not really understanding what is happening. Okay. So what happens is that since it can't understand you, at times it is a kupea wrong information. Okay. Then of course it has memory constraints. I think tulikuwa ameshasema that at times mtu anasahau. Ama unajaribu kumbuka kitu, you're like, wow, when did this happen? And you've forgotten everything that is in your mind. Unaona? So also AI happens like that because it normally has a window. And if that window is lapsed, unaanza kuona inaanza kupea bad responses. Then of course it's dependent on the training data. Somebody had also said that question. If it has never been trained on something, it will never be able to answer on that thing. So, and then something else is that it's dependent on the user. So that means me and you can be using ChatGPT, but me napata better responses as compared to you. And then all of a sudden you start saying that ChatGPT is not that good. But the thing is, mimi nikiitumia, it makes me have powers, for lack of a better word. Unaona? But mtu mwingine akiitumia ako like, hey, this thing is so useless. You get? So it's always dependent on the user. It depends on, and we're going to look into that in a few. And then also it's quite expensive, so it means that a lot of these models unajipatanga unaambia ulipie. Si ndio? Na shaitumia alafu inakwambia come back after 4 hours. Inakukasirisha, si ndio? You had an assignment, it's like, yo boss, come back baadaye. And then of course it reaches your level. That means if you cannot think something in your mind, it will never be able to do. Because you have to explain what you're thinking. So the way now that you use the instructions now that you give to an AI model is something called a prompt. Okay? So now this is the most important thing that you guys are never gonna need when it comes to using AI models. Okay? Hey, you guys are quiet. This is nice. Huh? Mnasikiza ni mwana tunachukua notes. Amazing. So keep it up. Because I want a note. You guys like this. Eh? So thank you for listening. So the questions that you give to an AI model is called a prompt. So the same way, it's because I was hearing some people speaking. The same way that hadi when unaulizanga maswali in an exam room is the same way you also ask questions inside of an AI model. So it's called prompts. So for you to get the best prompts, you need to do something called prompt engineering. Okay. Sasa, this was a different presentation. You have to do something called prompt engineering. So prompt engineering, na shaisikia kitu kama hiyo. Who's ever heard the word prompt engineering? Maybe they can describe it for us. All right. So prompt engineering is basically the coming up with the most effective prompts for you to get the best responses from an AI model. Now, nilikuwa nawaambia that one person can be using ChatGPT and the next person ChatGPT, all on the free version, but still this person gets more results than this other person. Unaanza kujiuliza, rada ni gani? The difference is this thing. It's called prompt engineering. So how you design the prompt for it to give you the best possible response. So this is now the most important thing that you're ever going to need when it comes to AI, and it's something that you need to listen in. It's listen. So the first part of prompt engineering is something I call the 4 C's of prompt engineering. Sasa hapo ndio mnafaa mkiandika notes. I know this is distracting, but andikeni hiyo. The 4 C's of prompt engineering. Sasa. So these are the things that you need to consider each time you're going to write a prompt on ChatGPT. Cool? Cool? Like a pool. I wish I had a sweet I could have given you. But yeah, cool? Like a pool. So there are things that you need to consider each time you're going to write a prompt on ChatGPT or Gemini. The first is clarity. Can someone explain to me why clarity is important? Based on what I told you about the limitations, so why is clarity important?
My name is Janjaruka. Clarity is important because when you ask a clear question, it won't give you ambiguous, like it won't go out of the box.
Yes. Remember we talked about a limitation called hallucinations, right? So if you want to reduce those hallucinations, whereby it gives you something different from what you had asked for, what you need to do is that you need to be extremely clear on what you are telling the model. Sawa. So clarity is the first thing in the prompt engineering cycle. Are you clear in your prompt? So nafaa kujiuliza, if I was to give this same prompt to a human being, will they be able to answer my question or not? Shida watu wengi inakuanga, they are not clear. They're not clear because of the language they use, or maybe they don't know how to actually write. I have met, I teach mostly postgraduates, but a PhD, ambaye even writing is a problem. Unaona? So you find, ChatGPT can help you, but since hadi huwezi ambia what to do, inakwama. Iko like, man, sasa hapa nifanye nini? Unaona? So clarity is the most important thing, first of all, when it comes to AI. And the second thing is context. So that, who else can guess now? Based on the limitations of AI, why is context important? Why is context something so important? Someone to just guess. I like interactivity. Okay, I can see someone here. Yes.
So that the AI can know the level of the answer that you want. For example, you are asking a mathematics question, you have to specify either a university question or a high school question.
Perfect. I'll give you 100 bob. So utakuja so context is important because you do not want the AI model to guess where you are at in your prompt. Ikiwa unahitaji usaidizi and you tell it, for example, you need help in math iko na so many different levels, right? Math in a lot of countries is the same, but unaweza pata concept ambayo inafunzwa TUK is not the same concept ambayo inafunzwa like Kipe University. You see, a concept that is being taught in maybe high school is not the same as being taught in university. I don't know who here is doing mathematics in uni. How you do math, eh? See, math, okay, maybe this person can tell us math in uni and math in high school. Is it the same thing?
No, it's not the same. So, like, in uni, like, iko na more context. You like, kuna time flani before nikianza, after nimeingia university, that's when the first time nilitumia AI. So, like, nimeka swali, and then ikaleta tu answer peke yake. So like ni hadi uiambie like ifanye ikuonyeshe all the workings, the steps.
So you're going to notice that if you were to do mathematics in university, mathematics at university is different from mathematics at high school. In fact, mathematics in university is fun. Sindio, the lady who's doing math in university is fun. I know maybe in high school mko mnaichukia, but now past high school, you start working on very interesting problems about how a certain formula came up. Like it starts becoming interesting once you finished high school. Sasa. Okay, guys, let's talk in. I can hear some mamas. So you need to explain to it the context of which you are in. Then the third thing is constraints. Again, based on the limitations of AI models, why is constraint something important? Who can explain what a constraint is? Can you explain for us what a constraint is?
As per my understanding, I think staying within that context.
Perfect. So why is it important for it to stay within the context of something? Hey, people on this side are not participating. Why is it important for it to stay inside the context of what you've given it? Remember the limitations of AI. So why is it important?
To improve accuracy, to control the length.
So to improve the accuracy, remember we talked about how hallucinations are very common to happen with AI. So if you want hallucinations to stop happening, you need to give it a constraint. Unafaa kuiambia what it should not do. Shida ya watu wengi they go and tell AI what it should do, but not what it cannot do. Especially for things like photos or images. Watu wengi wanafocusingi on what they want, but they don't focus on what they don't want. So if you say, tell ChatGPT, make me an image of someone at the beach, you've not specified if you want the ocean to be seen, if you want the sun to be seen, if you want the palm trees to be seen, are they the only person there? You get. Kuna vitu zingine unafaa kuiambia ili ijue, don't do this, don't do this. If you want an image without people on the beach peke yake, lazima uandike of someone peke yake on the beach with no trees and no unaona? Okay. Then the last thing is customization, which basically is everybody understands things differently. So inafaa kuwa customized to what you are doing. So yeah, so there's normally a framework that I like giving my students when it comes to coming up with good prompts. So it's called the craft framework. Again, it's something else you should be taking notes on. It's called the craft framework. And you can see context is being repeated. And what does this mean? What does this mean? If context is being repeated, what does it mean? Yeah? What does it mean if context was repeated in the 4 C's and now in the craft framework? It's an easy question. Ama niongee Kiswahili. Mbona context imerepetiwa? Anyone? It's because it's important. So context is the most important thing when it comes to using AI. So it is the most important thing. Like you could have the most powerful AI model in the world, but if you cannot give it enough context, it will never be able to respond. So this brings a new concept called context engineering. And this is actually a job that I've seen coming up in different spaces. But these are actual jobs. These the people who are being paid to write prompts, full stop. No. So what I'm teaching you here could be something that you guys do on the side. Yesterday I was talking about remote jobs on the other side, and this is one of the jobs that I told them they can do, prompt engineering. This is something that people are literally looking for people to do. So there's a concept called context engineering, which is basically you trying to come up with the best context for the AI model. So hapo nafaa kujiuliza maswali kama, what should the AI model know for it to respond to my prompt? Okay? What is the background of what I am asking? Where have I reached? What is the bigger picture of what I am asking? So for example, since you guys want to use this for education, unafaa kuiambia, I am a first year student studying automotive engineering at the University of X, and I am doing a unit in this. You see, I have an assignment that deals with this, and this is what I want you to help me with. Sasa watu wengi wakienda ChatGPT wanaiambianga, I have an assignment about this. Answer for me my assignment. Unaona? Sapo usha burnt. But if you explain to it that first of all, you're a student doing automotive engineering, itaenda iangalie context ya automotive engineering. Okay? Then you explain to it that it's a certain unit. So now it will again constrain itself. Remember we talked about constraints. So now all of a sudden now it ends up to reduce how much information it's going to give you or what the scope is. Because remember, it has been trained on so much data that at times it hallucinates. So the more you tell it, ito maswali is okay, I only want information about X. Or I am a university student from the University of Nairobi. I'm doing research in this. It will reduce how much information it's going to give you. So the first thing is context. And about context, I'm telling you, this is the most important part of using an AI model. If you cannot write the right context, I promise you cannot get good information. It's like when you go to a hospital, what is the first thing that the doctor does when you tell them you're sick?
The first thing that the doctor does when you tell him you are sick, like he will assess you first. Like he can ask you, when did you start feeling so and so?
Yes. So they're going to ask you questions. Why do you think the questions are important?
So that they can know what disease you're suffering from.
Exactly, so that they can understand what the issue is. Unaona? So the same ukienda kwa hospitali ama ukienda kwa counselor ama I'm a consultant, the first thing that they do is they ask you questions, is because that is what gives them the context of what is happening. So, for example, if you say you have a stomach ache, watakuuliza swali kama, which side of your stomach is aching? Is it the top side, left side, bottom side, all of it, nini nini? Because there are different organs here. So unasema I have a stomach ache, but it's not a stomach ache. Maybe it's something happening in your ilium or something happening here. But if you don't tell them that I have pain on this side of the stomach, wao watafikiria uko na shida na maybe you're hungry ama maybe ulikula kitu mbaya. Unaona? So context literally matters. If you go literally like I told you guys I was sick earlier in the week, eh? But this sickness ilianza on Saturday. Like the week before basically, but I didn't understand I was sick. So when I was telling my doctor, my chemist, I was explaining to him half symptoms. And so he gave me medicine and then I still didn't get better. So on Tuesday last week now, I'm trying to wake up and I can't wake up. No, not even last week. Oh yeah, hey, I'm trying to wake up and I can't move. Sasa ikabidi kumbe I had an infection kwa nimechukua maziwa, sikuwa nimechemsha. Unaona? But you see, I didn't tell the doctor that, oh yeah, by the way, I went and bought milk by the roadside, nikakunywa. Like, me missing out that context means that he gave me the wrong medicine. That's what in a pona. So that's what happens with AI. You're missing out a piece of information too heavy enough your answer to be completely different. Okay? So you need to create the context. So for example, now let's do something practical here. See, all of you have your phones and laptops, some of you. Sindio? Yeah? How many have actual laptops? Mkono? Okay, so let's say 20% of you. So on your phones, what I want us to do is I want us to have a task. And the task is going to help us to do an assignment. I don't know what assignment. Maybe you guys mshapewa assignment in uni. Simemaliza semester. Right? So I want us to answer a question on one of the assignments ambayo tumepewa. So I would like you guys to write a prompt to answer to a context. Don't send the prompt. Don't finya enter. So I want you to write a prompt that says something like, I am a undergraduate student studying a bachelor's of arts in X. I'm a bachelor's of science in this. In the university of this. Unaona? My unit, I have an assignment that I've been given by my lecturer, and the assignment is about. So you copy paste the assignment, okay? And then now you start saying about where you are at in your nini. Is that maybe course outline? Yeah? Do you have the course outline of your course or of that unit? You can attach that course outline into the chat. So that the AI can understand what is the end goal of that lecturer trying to do with that unit. I want us to just write that prompt after 5 minutes, and then we go to the next part of the prompt, next part. But anzeni kuandika hii part. So I want one person to come and use my computer and do that. One volunteer. Come. So I'm going to use ChatGPT, not because it's the best or anything, but just because I think you guys made to me. So andika tu prompt. Usifinye hii kitu. So guys, write a prompt to help you with any assignment ambayo umepewa na your lecturer. So pick any unit. I want everybody to have something different, but you have to put context, enough context. So iambie your unit, iambie your university, iambie your year, iambie your everything. If you can put course outline, eka course outline. If you can put any assignment ambayo mshaipewa before, ekeni hapo. If you have notes, ekeni hapo. Kila kitu. Just give it context. If it misses a piece of context, it won't be able to respond. Unaona? So let's start with context and then we go to the next part of the prompt. You can use any model. Hakuna yote na prefer saizi. Use any. So if anybody needs help, unaniambia tu. Just take it and do it. So if you're done with the context, uniambie. Because I know it's supposed to be like 5 lines, sio kitu ndefu. So you're Mandika, I'm a university student.
I am a university student at Jomo Kenyatta University, pursuing BSc Biosystems Engineering. Currently in my second year. I'm still continuing.
Okay, perfect. So just think of an assignment in a specific unit ambayo mlipewa. And if someone is done, just raise your hand ili tuendelee to the next thing. So somebody is done. Maybe you could read for us the prompt at the beginning.
Good morning. Unia Kirubo, KT484, Multimedia University. The prompt that I wrote is I am a bachelor's degree student at the University of Multimedia, pursuing a course in renewable energy and technology, currently in my second year. I was asking for assistance on a project related to biofuels under algae cultivation, harvest, and extraction of oil.
Perfect. Thank you for the prompt. I want this lady to also read for us what happened. Ataka muone something in action.
My name is Victory Naropil, KT488. I am a university student at JQuat, pursuing BSc Biosystems Engineering, currently in my second year. I asked ChatGPT to help me in my assignment on thermodynamics and AutoCAD designs.
So I want you to notice something that it says. Thank you so much. What's your name again? Thank you, Victory. So notice hapa kuna kitu alifanya. Who knows what she made a mistake in? When we talked about context, do you think that the first prompt was enough context? It was not. What was it missing? What was it missing? Just speak up. I can see you're trying to speak. Okay, I cannot hear you. I wish there was another mic.
Undergraduate student.
What other context is it missing?
What he needs because he has just stated is just
Exactly. So hajasema kile anahitaji, si ndio? Nani mwingine akona kitu like this important context that was not answered? What was it? What was it? People at the back. Give a random person. What context is this prompt missing?
I think she just shared a broad prompt without any specific thing that she's requiring to be assisted with.
Exactly. Remember the first is the prompt engineering clarity, yeah? So I want you to notice what else it says. Nasema okay, hapa ikakuja akasema anataka asaidiwe na assignment, right? And which is an okay prompt. But again, angalia bado hakuwa na context enough. So even ChatGPT was just like, hey man, hakuna vile naweza jibu your answer. I'll just need to first of all see these things. You see? So this is what I mean by context, because even ChatGPT itself is telling you, I can't answer you unless at least unipe hizo maswali, ama unipe the text, ama unipe a PDF. You see? This is what I mean by context. It cannot answer you if it does not have this information. So ChatGPT itself has said, mimi siwezi kujibu because I don't know where the questions have. Ikasema, if you can put this assignment, I will be able to answer them. You see? This is what I mean by context. If you don't put the question or the question hapo juu, what happens is that it cannot answer your actual question. So whenever you're sending, I know it was not something you did it. Maybe you juked my keyboard. I think you were trying to go down ukafinya enter. So it wasn't really like a big issue, but this is what I mean by context. It was like, I can't answer your question because I don't have the questions or the assignment that you want me to answer. So for example, when hii lazima uandike the actual assignment in the prompt for it to give you a response. So I want somebody else to come and write for us another prompt. One prompt, yeah, context to. Another volunteer, come. Oh, so you've already written it. So it is, I'm an undergraduate. Okay, I want everybody to see. So can you copy paste it? Ama read it. Alafu wacha niwashe. Utaongea. So itakuwa na nini? Voice typing.
I'm an undergraduate second year student at the Jomo Kenyatta. Kenyatta University. With an assignment in calculus 3. Can you explain how it is applied in the field of electromagnetic?
All right, so his prompt is, I am an undergraduate student, second year student. Second year student at JQuat, studying Bachelor of General Science in calculus 3. Can you explain how it is applied in the field of electromagnetic? Kivo. So this is the prompt that what's your name? Daniel had written, and this is the response he got. Okay, so I'm gonna put some applications, but I want us to just read it from here. So like, okay, since you're doing this is what we're expecting you to connect. Introduction, vector fields, nini, algebra. Of course, I don't want us to look at the question. I just want us to look at the prompt. We see if there's anything that angeka better to make the context, to make the prompt better when it comes to context. So I'm an undergraduate second year student. That is nice. Akasema JQuat, that is nice, yeah? Akasema course yake. Again, more points, eh? Akasema calculus 3. I guess that's a unit. Sino, any unit. Alafu akasema kwamba nataka kuexplainiwa how calculus 3 is applied in the field of electromagnetic. I don't know if that's okay. So I can't really tell if this is an okay prompt because I'm not really into science, but in the field of electromagnetic, is this like another unit? Ama? It's a concept. In real life, okay? So does it know that electromagnetic means in real life? Ama you assume that it understands what you are thinking? Okay. I'm sijui science, guys. Msinichekele. Mimi, I did journalism, social sciences, but I don't know if there's anything better that you could have added. Maybe what I can do is that I can take the prompt and ask ChatGPT if there's anything better that the prompt will have done. So acha niseme, I am doing an session with some students. And I want you to tell me if this prompt can have more context. I'm basically showing them how to write prompts. So I've told chat, and I want chat to basically tell me how it would have made this a better prompt when it comes to context. But none of what it's saying now, ChatGPT is like, okay, the prompt is okay, but maybe ningesema Bachelor of Science, I've been given an assignment for my Calculus 3 course, alafu inafaa kusema what maybe you've already learned in class. You get? So ChatGPT is telling you that, okay, maybe angesema, what have they already learned in class? Is there a unit or a section of a unit that it will have wanted, that he will have wanted it to actually tell me? You get? So that's the context that is missing. So it's not like the prompt was bad, but ikiwa angesema that we've learned vector functions already in class, now ChatGPT will know that the answer should have something to do with vector functions. You get? Angesema kwamba they've already learned gradient, divergence, and curl, that's the answer will have been based on that. This is what I mean by if you miss something in the context, utapata haitakuwa, you'll get a very different response. Sasa. So the first part of prompt engineering is context engineering. Learn to write good context. Jiulize, what should the model know? Be as specific as possible. Remember, we talked about the 4 C's of prompt engineering. Who remembers the 4 C's of prompt engineering from this side? Questions? Constraints, another one from that side. 4 C's of prompt engineering. Look up. Stop using your phone anymore. The guy with the yellow. It's you, the one who's looking behind. 4 C's of prompt engineering. This guy. No, like other people. This guy with the yellow band. Another 4 C's of prompt engineering.
Clarity.
Clarity, nice. All right, on this side, this person is raising the hand.
Customization.
Customization. And last one? Constraints was already mentioned. There's something else. Context, perfect. Someone has said context. So remember that context is one of the most important parts. So be as clear as possible when it comes to context. Yeleze what exactly needs to know. Okay? And the second thing is role. In the craft framework is role. So remember we talked about constraints. And I told you that constraints is what makes the model not hallucinate. So this is one of the things that you can do to make sure that the prompt becomes much better. So for example, when you're starting your prompt, unafaa kuandika, act as a professor in the field of mathematics and general science. You get? Once you tell it that, since ChatGPT has billions of data, it will narrow down to information that only that professor knows. Unaona? So for you guys, since you're using it for uni, instead of coming and saying, let's use the same prompt here. I've forgotten his name. What's your name? So let's use the same prompt. I'm an undergraduate student. Instead of just writing that, unafaa kusema, kwanza na, I want you to act as a professor of the course. Unaona? So unaielezea what it should be. And if you tell the AI model what it should be, it becomes better when it comes to responding. So instead of you telling it, help me with this, unafaa kuambia, you are someone with 15 years in experience in the field of commerce, in the field of actuarial science, in the field of Unaona? So ieleze, I want you to act as this. I want you to be this. Take the role of this. You giving it a persona, you giving it a role is going to make that model respond to you by at least 5 times more accuracy. Unaona? So if you just tell it, answer for me this question, it will not know exactly what it should take up. So unafaa kuiambia, take the role of X, take the role of Y. So you see that prompt ile ya kwanza ambayo nilikuwa nimemwambia muandike. Nilikuwa nimemwambia msifinye enter. Ndio watu wengine walikuwa wamefinya enter, but I want you to add this part. I want you to act as a this of this. Add a role in that prompt, and then because I want us to see the final prompt tukimalizia. So in the same prompt, ikiwa ulikuwa ushafinya enter, copy paste it, start a new chart, alafu uandike a role. Start a role. And that role can be defined. You could say something like, act as a professor of clinical medicine who has been teaching in this and excels in this. Like make it as clear as possible. Remember again, clarity. And if you've not been able to tell, English is the most important thing when it comes to using AI. No, if you cannot express yourself, in writing, it will be very, very hard for you to use artificial intelligence. So even as you continue, just know that you need to start improving how you can write. You need to write more clearly so you can get better responses. Cool? 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 Like a pool, guys. But hey, Wandike, I give you guys 2 minutes. If you're stuck, I can come help. So Wandike, act as a professor of, act as a whatever, researcher in this. Act as a student who understands this. And if you're done, just tell me so that we can move on. Okay, are you guys done? Are you done with writing the role? Can people at the back, by the way, see? Because now I can't zoom farther and farther and farther. Mnazoona? Mimi nakuanga na macho mbaya, so sioni kitu. Maybe you could tell us now the prompt you've written as you finished.
Not finished.
Eunice Chantal, KT 571, act as a professor in dental school and explain this. I am a first year undergraduate student at Mount Kenya University pursuing Bachelor of Science in Dental Technology. Answer the question.
So you can see amesema act as a professor of dentistry school, sindio? Yeah, someone who has experience in dental science, dental technology science. So that prompt is going to be much better, or rather the response about utapata is going to be much better than kena ChatGPT uiambie, answer for me this question. Unaona? You telling it the context that you're in dental school, and you telling it also that that it's supposed to be a professor of dental surgery, itakuwa much, much better. Okay? Do you have something? Ni vile mjaanza ama ni nini? Okay, someone here has finished.
I'm supposed to read. Okay. Take the role of a lecturer with 15 years experience. I am an undergraduate student studying at Moi. Present an assignment on etiological agents of cell injury. The unit is pathology. That I'm an undergraduate student.
Perfect. So you can see the prompt is starting to come alive. And if you were to send that in ChatGPT, utaanza kuona kwamba it respond much, much better as compared to you putting something random. So this is how now you start writing your prompt. The first was context, the second is role. Then the third thing now is action. Now in the craft framework, the third thing is action. So tunafaa kujiuliza, sir, what should the model do? You get? Now that you've given it all this information about your life, about your course, about your unit, about your assignment, what now should the model do? So now here is where you can curate anything. And this is now where now the difference between the haves, should I say the haves or the have-nots, the people who use AI and the people who don't use AI well comes into play. So I know you guys mnaikanga limits on AI. There are some things that maybe you think AI cannot do. I know there's some things. Jesus. I know there's some things that you guys think AI cannot do. And I don't know, is there something ushaenda kwa ChatGPT kakwambia I can't do that? What? I want to hear those stories. Like ulienda ukiambia I want you to do this for me, ikakwambia, hey, I can't come, I can't do that. Can you come tomorrow and I'll be able to do it? What are you trying to do?
I was asking it to how to generate a bomb.
All right, you're going to generate a bomb. Anything else that ulijaribu kuambia ChatGPT kakwambia come back tomorrow and I'll be able to do it? Anybody? Na usikue bomb tafadhali.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So like there was this time. So me watch anime.
All right.
This time na anime you site ilifungwa. So like when niliulizanga ChatGPT, so like at first, like the first few seconds, it gave information at the like Crunchyroll, like and then after this to share it.
Okay, interesting. Okay, it's because you guys are asking for illegal things, but I thought like kitu ya job ama kitu ya shule ukaiuliza alafu kukwambia I can't do this task. Okay, this one nikaa kuna an example.
Yunia Kirubu. I asked it, this semester I was doing a course in drawing. So like I tried to see if it can help me to do other questions. I asked it if it can generate a drawing. It said it can't.
It can't. Perfect. So there's some things that I know mtasema AI can't do, yeah? But there's some things unaendanga unaiambia, do this for me na kuambia, I can't do it today, come back here after 2 days, or come back after a month. And the reason why is because these models keep on improving, yeah? And at times, so maybe the drawing couldn't be made, and I don't know what you're using, which exact model, but now unaweza pata unaenda unaitumia, and that thing can happen. Sasa, so what I'm trying to tell you guys is that when it comes to what you're telling AI to do, don't limit yourself to what you think it can do. Kuna vitu mingi sana inaweza fanya. But when it comes to giving it an action, you need to be very specific about the task that you want it to do. Sasa, so you need now to use verbs that are very unique. So things like analyze something for me, generate something for me, do stuff for me. But hapa kwa action, I want you guys to stop limiting yourself. I'm limiting the AI model. AI can handle a lot of work. Sawa. So what people now tell it, for example, is answer for me this question, right? But if I was to be the one, for example, who had an assignment and niko na swali, what I normally tell it is, answer for me this question, but before you answer my question, I want you to go to a certain website and confirm the validity of that information. After you've confirmed the validity of that information, go to another website and compare it with this other paper. And then go to this place and compare it with this and compare it with this, so that you can give me a final response. Unaona? Most people, when they're giving it a task, when you give it an action, when I panga just one task to do at a time. But hapa kwa action, you can literally write like you can write a whole paragraph. Unaambia, first, go to Scopus. I think umeongea mambo ya medicine, medicine, dental. So Scopus is where there's a lot of there's a lot of medical research. So you tell it, go to Scopus archive, get this information from this paper. Then go to this place and get this information from this paper. Then go here and compare it with this. Then go to the University of Nairobi repository and look for a paper that can have something different. Then go to the Kenyatta University repository of library and get something different. Like unaweza iambia to do whatever you want. So don't limit your AI usage. In fact, yesterday there was someone who asked me that question. How does he start with AI? Because aliniambia hajai tumia AI at all. Nikamwambia just start with ChatGPT. But certainly need to do something that maybe you will not have been able to tell it before. I feel like you're struggling to see. Let me see if I can move this. So hapa kwa action, can you see? Hapa kwa action now, you can give it step by step. So don't be scared to give it a very long prompt hapa. Yambie, go to this website, get this info, get this. Then it's supposed to arrange everything for you. So I want to go a bit faster because remember time inaenda. So hapa kwa action, don't be scared. Don't be scared of what you're going to tell it. It will be able to do it. I promise you. No matter how hard it is, it will be able to do it. And then finally is format. Format is basically how do you want it to come out. Yeah. You need to control the output of what is coming out. If let's say an answer for a question, for example, do you want it to actually answer your question, or do you want to be the kind of student who does not rely on AI? Unaona? Because you know that people who wakitumia AI hawafikiri. You get? But then there are others who are like, okay, I don't want you to give me the direct answer. I want you to challenge my assumptions. I want you to give me differing opinions. I want you to do. Unaona? So hapa format is now where customization comes in. You don't just tell it, give it to me in a table format. Tunafaa kuiambia, give it to me in a way that will make me think. Give me this information in a way that will ensure that I understand exactly what you're trying to do. Because remember again, you don't want to be the kind of student who amepeana thinking yake kwa AI. Ukiuliza swali kuhusu your unit, huwezi jibu. Yeah? Unaenda kwa exam room, huna ChatGPT, all of a sudden you're failing. So what you're going to do here is that you're going to try to control how the answer comes out. Okay? So you're telling it, I want the answer to be like, okay, bullet form, but here, I think I'll have to change this because I really don't like it. But upper format, you need to control not just the structure, but how it comes out. So for example, me, I normally tell it how it's supposed to be responding step by step. The first response should be this, second response should be this, third response should be this, fourth response should be this. But hapa pia unafaa we make it to be yours. Because remember, everybody here understands information differently. Kuna mtu who likes diagrams. There are people here who likes tables. Like for me, ChatGPT, there's a time I stopped paying for it because it used to give me short answers. Mi napendanga details. Like, if you're answering me, unafaa kunipea paragraph ka 10 nisome. And that's when I'll believe that your information is correct. ChatGPT ilikuwa inanijibu in short answers, nikasema I don't like it. So I stopped. And then now, nikiingia Gemini. Sasa Gemini imeanza kuwa short, nimerudi back to ChatGPT. Unaona? So it's up to you to choose which format you want. And then finally, it's tweaking. So you need to remember that this is a conversation you're having with an AI model. You see like how, I think your name was Sylvia, right? What is your name? Victory, sorry. So you see like how Victory hapa alikuwa amefanya kama kosa kidogo tu. Alikuwa amekuja kayambia ama calculus 3. Ilikuwa calculus 3 ama ilikuwa ingine? Biosystems. So I am a university student at JKUAT pursuing BSc Biosystems. Akafinya enter without knowing. Yeah. So instead of you continuing, you could have just clicked on this button here and edited the message in front of there. Unaona? And I want to talk about something called token context window in the next conversation. I'll try to go a bit faster, but like, naona kama hapa, you continuing down here, the way AI normally works is that it chooses something called tokens. Ni kama maji. So imagine hizo ndani ya ChatGPT inaitwa tokens. Okay? So now there's tokens inside, and each time you use it, you are using the tokens. Unamaliza hiyo maji. So if you waste your tokens like that, ulianza conversation ikafika katikati alafu kaanza tena, inamaanisha hapo umepoteza tokens, right? And I can imagine that a lot of you are on the free version of these tools. So you don't want to be in a situation whereby inakwambia come back after 4 hours and you're trying to study right now. Unaona? So you're trying to be smarter. So don't waste your tokens hivyo ati unaweka short prompts. No. If you want, put all the prompts in one conversation. So eka kila kitu hapa university ataka ni ndefu. Eka hapo. If you have to write twice, utajipata tokens zako zinaisha. Each time you go to ChatGPT nakwambia your limits have ended. Sawa? So when he gives you a response that you don't like it, you need to tweak it. Tell it that's not what I wanted. Nilikuwa nataka hii. Nilikuwa nataka ubadilishe hii. Nilikuwa nataka hii. So. And that way you're going to notice that the responses become better. But that's the last part of the craft framework. Ensure it's a conversation. Refine the output. So I know time imeisha, but I would like to know how is this prompt? Is this a good or a bad prompt? Guys from the back, is this a good prompt or a bad prompt? Someone from the back, is this a good or a bad prompt? People from the back. Watu wa mbele wamejibu sana. Watu wa nyuma. Give a random person, honestly. Is this a good or a bad prompt?
Hello everyone. I'm Kelvin Kiplimo. That's a bad.
It's a bad prompt. What makes it bad? Give him the mic. What makes it a bad prompt?
I think that prompt need to be refreshed.
Why?
You haven't tell more about that Savannah Tracking Limited.
So there's no? There's no
enough information.
context. It's called context. So what I want us to do together is I want us to write a prompt together. I don't know what it should be about, but I want us to write a prompt ili tuone how to do it well. So I want 7 volunteers to come, and we're going to write a prompt with those 7 people. 7 people kindly, because of time. Simama tu mkuje. I don't want to pick. Just stand up. You've gotten the first person, second person. Second person, perfect. Third person, perfect. Clap for them as they're coming. I must clap for them. I need another 4 people. I need another 4 people. A lady, 5. That's the 4th one. All right. Ladies, tafadhali. I need the volunteers. Okay, that's the 5th one. I need another lady, just one more. That's the 6th one. Perfect. So what I want us to do is to create a prompt. Let's imagine you want to start a side hustle in university. So I want you guys to come up with a prompt with what I've taught you, and then we try it out. So kila mtu anapenda a sentence, and then we write. Can you be the one typing tafadhali? So we start. So, okay, niambia nilikuwa naongeanga haraka sana. So tunaandika prompt. Sawa. Hiyo prompt inafaa kutusaidia kuanza side hustle university. So kile tunataka ni ChatGPT tuambie ni side hustle gani tunaweza fanya. Sawa. So kila mtu anapeana a sentence that is going to build on the prompt. So for example, kuna role. So unaweza anza na you are a professional business consultant based in Laikipia ama Nakuru. You understand how the city works and what economic activities happen there. I am a second year student doing my bachelor's in this, and I want to start a side hustle. Mwingine akuja na the next sentence. Mwingine akuja na the next sentence so that you can build a prompt together. Sawa. So he's the one who's going to be typing. As you guys just give the first sentence, second, hivyo, until tumalize. And then you guys are the ones who are going to be judging the prompt. So unasema, okay, I think we should add more context. I think we should reduce this. I think we should use a different model. So it's just a simple activity. You see overthink. So the sentence, we anaandika. Start the sentence. Remember, we're trying to start a side hustle as a university student.
I am a university student, a second year university student at Zitec University. I think I'm good in typing. Okay.
I am a university student.
University student at Zitec. Yeah.
That's the context. I want you to build it. Yes. So build it so that they can see how to write a prompt.
I have access to 6 hours of free time a day.
Okay, next person.
I want to start a side hustle.
Umetuweka katikati.
On selling clothes. Yeah.
I want you to tell me the type of clothes that most uni students want.
So what more context does it need?
I have a capital of 60,000. 60.
60,000.
60,000. What is the best product I can sell to students and youth in rural area?
So there's something interesting it said, yeah, when it comes to context. Something important, such as when you start a business, it needs to know how much money you have, right? Your location, right? Who you're targeting, Cindy. What else? How much time you have? Someone had talked about it. What else does this prompt need when it comes to context? What else does the prompt need? Even from the audience, mnaweza tuambia, what does this prompt need when it comes to context? What more context is needed to start a side hustle? Si overthink. Wewe ukitaka kuanza biashara unafikiria nini? Pesa uko nayo, time uko nayo, nini nyingine? What you like? This good to deliver.
Would you please give me the risks of a business and how to handle?
Anybody else with something different? So we're in context, right? So let's go to role. What role do we give the model? Hope you guys can hear. So Muka, craft. The first is context, second is role. So what role can we give this model for it to give us the list of businesses? Anyone? Again, a lot of things when it comes to writing, it's about your creativity. Unaona? So sio kitu moja that is set in stone. So ni wewe tu kusema, okay, what do you want it to do? A role that it can do?
A professor in business management who has like a couple of businesses.
Okay. Anything else when it comes to role tunazongeza? Alright, so role ni kama tumemaliza. So what about action? So tumeambia nini? Tumeambia that it's supposed to give us a list of businesses that we can do. Sindio, anything else we would like to know about this? So again, I think it was you who talked about you would like to know the risks associated with the business and how they can be done. Sindio, anything else we would like it to tell us when it comes to action? Inafaa kutuambia nini ingine? Anything else?
Can also ask it to show a way on how to manage the profits.
Perfect. Or even the capital tukianza, sindio? The capital when starting. So what else can we tell it to do? Guys, also from the audience, mnaweza sema kitu. So what else can we tell that you need to do? Tell us.
I think you can tell it to keep the language beginner friendly. Yeah.
Okay, anything else you can say? Now the customization. You see, upon your customization in a come in place. Hapo kwa format. So keep this simple for me because maybe wewe uelewi kitu ngumu. Sasa, anything else that we can add? Last thing. Mike pale.
Hello, I'm Doreen. I guess in terms of the contest, I think that it was better for you if you told the AI, the age of your target customers.
Perfect. So we already told it youth. So what do we say? Tuseme between age what? Ebu tuambie. Age 18 to 23 ama what? Do we write? 18 to 25. Ndio? In Roiro. 18 to 15. 18 to 25 in Roiro, right? So what else can we add from the audience?
And you can also ask it whether it would be favorable for you to do it alone or partner with someone.
In fact, to pair lists. So it's supposed to tell us in each of them if I need a business partner or not. Okay, I'm trying to go faster. But I think now we're done. Tell us each of them if they require so we have our prompt here. So let's send it. I know time imeisha, nakujiwa, but I want you to notice that a prompt can be something, anything. It could be as long as even 10 pages. Sasa. So it's up to you to be the one to say, do you want to write the prompt up to 10 pages or not? But remember, if we miss out on context, everything else will be different. The entire response itatokea, itakuwa tofauti sana. So keep tabs on the context. So come up with like, okay, don't start with the product. So inaanza kutuambia, okay, anza na problem, understand your market. Inaanza kutupea jibu. So this would have been better as compared to someone who goes and says, help me with, I want to start a side hustle. I don't know if you guys have seen that TikTok, yeah? HRGPT, make me a millionaire. What can I do to make 1 million shillings? It was a meme. So instead of saying, I want to start a side hustle, like this is what people normally write. Alafu wanashangaa mbona ChatGPT is not responding well. So you need to write a better prompt for you guys to get the best responses. This is what people normally write. But if you compare that to what we had written hapa chini, you will notice that it is much, much different than what ambayo tumepewa hapo. So that's how prompt engineering works, and that's the first part and the most important part of you using AI. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. You can clap for them, tafadhali. And now I will let the KT team take over.